So this is auditing and what here? Assurance. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I would want to pick this thing at a high level. There is no way you'll be able to pass this particular examination without knowing internal control systems. So, and I would want to throw this ball to you. When somebody mentions the word internal control systems, ICS, what comes to your mind? What comes to your mind? And I would expect my students here to be typing very fast. You should be able to type without looking at your keyboard. You should be able to type without looking at your keyboard. What is ICS? What is ICS? What is ICS? In your simplest language, what is internal control system? ICS. Even if it's in Kiswahili or your mother tongue, I just want somebody to describe for us what ICS is. Policies and procedures, I like that. Caleb Ondieki. Policies and procedures, I like that. I like that. I like that. I like that. Any other person? Systems used to manage risks. Remember, there are so many risks out there, right? And we have to place ourselves in a way that those risks are managed, lest they do what here? They kill us. Procedures and policies that are incorporated in our organization to make it run smoothly, to ensure that we shall be able to attain the organization's what here? Long-term goals. Long-term goals. As I always introduce these things, ladies and gentlemen, remember, I use a very simple example. So we have what we call the financial statements here. These financial statements, normally whenever thieves steal from the organization, they target the firm's financial statements so that they can recreate them, right? So that they can, in this case here, window dress them to make everything within the organization look what here? Nice, but there inside, we know that there are so many what here? Issues, right? So these financial statements are the ones in this case that you're supposed to protect quite a lot. So, ladies and gentlemen, basically ICS, as somebody has told us, is this particular membrane. In this case, it is this particular what here? Umbrella. It's an umbrella. An umbrella. Umbrella in this case here having what here? The firm's policies, the procedures that we need to follow, so that at the end of the day, we are able to protect ourselves and ensure that the long-term vision of the company is met. So this umbrella is so nice, but very few organizations would want to put it on their heads. So when you tell me to come and audit your organization, the very first thing that I will do is to assess the adequacy, the strength of this umbrella. If it is so strong, then I'll be able to say that these people are not mad. These people are nice. They really want to protect the interests of all the stakeholders. So in that case here, I'm going to rely on the umbrella. I'm going to rely on the ICS. And when I rely on the ICS, what happens? As an auditor, I'll do very little work. When I rely on the ICS, ladies and gentlemen, as an auditor, I will do very little work. But remember, I can only rely on ICS if the ICS is what here? Is strong. Is strong. And I can only say that the ICS is strong if they are meeting the 5 objectives of ICS. The 5 objectives of ICS, I always keep on telling you, they normally work with this acronym of a stop, because ICS is supposed to stop these thieves from stealing from us. So the 5 objectives. If the internal control systems are very strong, then we should be able to get accurate financial statements. If the financial statements are very strong, or rather the ICS is very strong, then our assets will be safeguarded. The assets in this case will be safeguarded, and they will be out there simply to do whatever assignments which belong to the organization. If, for example, today you go to most of these county governments, you'll get, for instance, some tipper lorries which belong to the county government, but they are delivering materials to people's, in this case here, constructions, individual, like to the governor. That's what safeguarding. Safeguarding an asset is ensuring that it is an asset which belongs to the county government. It's an asset which belongs to the company, and therefore this asset can only work for who? Can only work for the company. And in case it does some private business, then the company needs to get an income out of that, right? So safeguarding of the assets, and of course, ladies and gentlemen, if internal control systems are very strong, then we should be able to get reports on a timely basis. Anybody, including the CEO, for example, whenever they want any report, they'll simply go to the ERP system and they're able to pull a report in good time. As an auditor, when I ask for any ledger, I should be able to get the ledger almost immediately. When I realize that I'm asking for a ledger and then it takes a whole week to be delivered to me, straight away I know that the internal controls are what here? They are weak. So this timely, because we need reports, we need information in good time for us to be able to save situations, to make proper decisions. Ladies and gentlemen, there must also be order. If internal, you had somebody mentioning here that would want things to run smoothly. So there must be order in the organization from how we are filing things. If I come to organization and I get, in this case here, papers strewn all over, then automatically I know that these companies' internal control systems are what here, they are weak, including how these files are being arranged in computers. If, for example, so and so was to leave this organization today, can we hire another person who, upon giving them a password, will be able to access all the files of the company? If no, then that is disorder. That is disorder. Then that is a problem, right? So we come here to P. This is prevention of what here? Of fraud and error. Of fraud and error. Ladies and gentlemen, I thought that this is very important. As I go to my past paper questions today, this is very important for you. Thank you very much. Can I go to something different? 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 Please, I would expect to be seeing yes or no, or explain further. Explain further. Thank you very much. Today I'm seeing, in this case here, so many students who are really responding. Yeah, thank you very much. Now, ladies and gentlemen, now if I come to the organization, I realize that this organization has been able to put such a strong, beautiful umbrella, internal control systems. I will be able to place reliance on this and do very little work. Little work means what? For example, if I've got a population of 1,000 vouchers, I don't have to audit each voucher. I don't want to go through each voucher if internal control systems are working. So in this case here, if internal control systems are working, then in terms of sampling, I'll be going for a small sample. Small sample means N is less than what, somebody? Small sample means N is less than what here? Small sample means N is less than? Small sample means that N is less than what? If controls are working, I'll be working with small samples. I don't have to audit everything, right? Small sample means N is less than 30. Nobody's talking there. N is less than 30. I can even decide to just pick 10 vouchers. I audit those ones alone. Why? Because the internal control systems are working. In terms of doing little work, the other things, and gentlemen, that I'll always do, if internal control systems are working, I don't have to stay in this organization throughout. I don't have to engage in a continuous audit. If internal control systems are working, I can even decide just to go and do a final audit, and that will be it. Or if the organization is paying interim dividends, then I also have to do what to do an interim audit. So I can do interim audit and a final audit like that. Of course, there is an exception there. You know, some organizations, even if their internal control systems are very strong, they call for what here? A continuous audit. Because of the nature of what here? Risks, like most of these organizations that deal with cash, like banks, circles, right? If they are very serious, they need services of an auditor in terms of risk measurement and whatever. They need services of an auditor throughout. And if the external audit, of course, is not there throughout, then for their case, they must work with an internal auditor throughout. Their internal audit department has to be very strong, Great. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what if I come to audit your organization I come to audit the organization, and then I realize that this is the umbrella. This is the umbrella that these guys are using. The head is as big as Mwalimu's head, but they've decided to use an umbrella over a 2-year-old kid. Over a 2-year-old kid. Over a 2-year-old kid. So automatically what this would mean is that I'm dealing with mad people. And if I'm dealing with mad people, then, ladies and gentlemen, I will not be able to place reliance on these kind of systems that they have. And if it means that I don't place reliance on the systems that they have, then I'm going to do a lot of work, what we call substantial work, right? What we call substantive tests. Substantive. What we call substantive, what we call the substantive, what here? Substantive tests. So these substantive tests, ladies and gentlemen, in this case here, is what we looked at yesterday, the concept of what here R, A, E, or U. Is there anybody who remembers what this R, A, E, or U stand for? Is there anybody who is able to remember what this R, A, E, or U stand for? Is there anybody who is able to remember what the R, A, E, or U stand for? The first one, analytical procedures. Because you decided to be a madman who is using a torn, worn out umbrella in Nairobi, then it means that I'll have to do a lot of analysis. I have to do a trend analysis to check out, right, on some abnormalities in the organization. So I have to do analytical procedures. Thank you very much. Then we have an inquiries and a third-party confirmations, and inquiries and the third-party confirmations. Thank you very much. We have inspection. We have inspection. We have observation. We have what we call recalculation. Recalculation, very, very important. Recalculation, very, very important. I don't trust you. So when you tell me that this was my depreciation for last year, I'll tell you, hey, that is okay. You as management, you confirm that for sure it was your depreciation figure, right? In writing, you have to give me a management representation. Just give me, that is the figure you got, right? Just state there the assumptions. And then I'll ask you as a second thing to give me your PPE register. When you give me your PPE register, I should be able to calculate depreciation myself. So I'm recalculating. And if it's a procedure that you're done yourself, I could be forced to do what? To reperform it. Reperformance. Great. Now, there is a question that I normally see people asking here. What is the difference between inspection and observation? Are they the same? What is the difference between inspection and observation? What is the difference between inspection and observation? Ladies and gentlemen, remember that this lesson is being recorded, and the recording will be sent to you guys. The recording will be sent to you guys in good time. Wanjiru is asking, what are substantive tests? Are you able to remember what you call the test of details? Test of details. When the internal control systems are not working, I have to go in depth and then ensure that the breadth is as well covered. I have to dig for more information to be able to gather sufficient, appropriate audit evidence. Sufficient is about quantity. Appropriate is about quality. Now the quality checks have to be more. Quantity, sampling now have to increase. At times even cover the entire population through what we call a census. Right? Yes, I'll be able to provide this. I'll be able to provide this. So I'm waiting for that good student to be able to differentiate between inspection and observation. I'm waiting for that good student to be able to differentiate between inspection and observation. Who is that student? Who is that student? Who is that student? Who is that student? I give them a reward. Who is that student? I give them a reward. Who is that student? I give them a reward. Who is that student? I give them a reward. Who is that student? I give them, I reward them. Inspect, you can even use just one word. What do we inspect? You can even give us an example of things that we observe. Because when we go to the audit procedures, which basically borrow quite a lot out of these, you'll be seeing in this case here, somebody tells you about, for example, a lorry, a fleet of lorries, right? So I'll be able to come and talk about, for example, doing an asset turnover ratio to see in this case here the asset that we have, what contributions are they having into the turnover of the company. So I'm analyzing every year, right? I'll be able to calculate, for example, the return on investment, the return on assets. Ladies and gentlemen, in that case, I'm doing what here? I'm analyzing. Those are analytical procedures. And inquiries, of course, most inquiries will be done to the management. So my work will be to say, I will ask the management, in this case here, to put down whatever information that I want through a management representation. And remember, these inquiries is extended a little bit. We normally talk of inquiries and what are third-party confirmations. So once they tell me, for example, they bought these lorries from Isuzu Kenya, as an auditor, there is no secrecy. I'll have talked to Isuzu Kenya, get to know whether for sure they sold these lorries to company ABC Limited, at what price, even go further to ask Isuzu Kenya, because of the experience that they have, as to the appropriate useful life to work with, approximately. Doesn't have to be exact, because of course they're selling these lorries here to very many clients, right? And a really useful life depends, the lifespan of any machine depends on usage, but they should be knowing. On average, when we give this kind of a lorry to a good company, we expect the company to use this kind of a lorry for about 20 years. As an auditor, I know the time they have given me there will give me a rough idea as to what depreciation to be charging every year. Okay, very good. I can see students who have responded here. We can inspect, for example, the existence of an asset and its rights and obligations. Are you sure? Are you sure you respect the existence of an asset? Observation, you are physically present. Inspection is examining documents. That is the thing. For example, regarding my lorries, I would want to inspect the logbooks. Right? Ladies and gentlemen, if, for example, these lorries, before they go out, if there are any documents that drivers have to sign in, if, for example, we have got, ladies and gentlemen, a document where these guys have to state every day like what fuel has been consumed, I would need that information for me to be able to estimate the fuel consumption and get to tell whether that fuel consumption, whether it's abnormal or within the normal range. Right? I like this student. This student should be able to give me their M-Pesa number. No, I'm joking. She's telling me that that's Patricia. Inspection is examining documents, while observation is now witnessing happening of events. For example, when they are having stock take, as an accountant, as an auditor, if I go and stand somewhere strategically, right? Observing whether in this case here, these guys are following whatever procedures you had given them or which they had been given by the management, then that is observation. Like there is one job that I got in some university in those old days. You know, in those old days before they brought in the biometrics, right? We could have, in this case here, soldiers at the gate. These soldiers here were the biggest internal control system. What they could do is to ask every student who passes by to give them what here their receipts. They look at the receipts or student ID card, right? And now there was this tendency where, for example, a beautiful girl could come by, smile to the soldiers. That smile could open doors. So there was a weakness of internal control there. So in this case here, what we did to observe whether that control system was working, we simply went and stationed ourselves just far area, from far, because we were able to see, right? And we could see. So and so comes because of getting used to the soldiers, even if it's a man, gates were being open. Instead of the student giving a student ID card, they were giving them what here, high five like this. So straight away, we were able to say that this internal control is not working, right? So in our letter management letter as auditors, what we did was simply to say that you need to be changing these soldiers often. For example, let us not have a university employing the soldiers. Let's give this work here to G4S. So at G4S, we're going to be asking G4S to give us new guards like every week, right? So at least that helped for some time. But nowadays, whenever I pass around there, around the Thika Road, I normally see them having what here are the biometrics, which is very good. Biometrics. Even if you have a balance of 5 shillings, you can't go to class. You can't go to class. Our work as auditors is to ensure that we add value to organizations in a way that these organizations will be able to outlive all of us. And in this case, we bequeath them to our children, right? Inspection, I can see a Calais. Inspection is examining records, documents, while observation involves certain processes as they are performed. Thank you very much. I want to imagine that is clear. Auditor observes various aspects of client's operation, e.g. payment of wages, opening of mails. Thank you very much, Stella. That is okay. Now, ladies and gentlemen, from there, I would want us to pick this thing and take it to a higher level. But first of all, before I go there, are we together? Are we together? Are we together? Are we together up to there? Are we together up to there? Are we together up to there? Stella says yes. Are we together up to there? Are we together? Are we together? Patricia says yes. Lucy, yes. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So these are very important things that you must always be thinking about. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as I go to my past papers, there are things I would want you always to be having in your mind. What we call the management assertions. The management assertions. What is an assertion? What is an assertion? What is an assertion, ladies and gentlemen? What's an assertion? Management assertions. So I would want someone to describe this for me. What is an assertion? What is an assertion? What is an assertion? What's an assertion? What's an assertion? Thank you very much. Techno, I can see you're learning with your son. Very good. Very good. Yeah. That is now making Mwalimu popular. You know, the other day I was in some mall and a young girl came to me live, pulling the mother. Mwalimu wa mamindi huyu. Mwalimu wa mamindi. Nikajua kumbe, when I'm teaching this thing online live here, I'm touching souls of many people. I'm touching souls of many people, which is very good. Which is very good. Facts or claims, I like that. Facts or claims. Implicit or explicit presentation about financial statements, I like that. You guys are very bright. Actually, I don't even think you need my classes. You guys passed this paper a long time ago. I don't think you need my classes. You guys are very bright. Now, ladies and gentlemen, to assert is to stamp authority. To assert is to make a claim that you would want everybody out there to take as if they are what here valid. They could either be explicitly stated or implicitly implied. You don't have to state them. Like when these managers do give us financial statements, ladies and gentlemen, they normally make these assertions like this. ACCA cover P. ACCA cover P. Right? So they are making, they're stamping down their authority and telling us, you know what, you guys, our results are accurate. Our financial statements are accurate. Our financial statements are complete. Our financial statements in this case here follow the proper cutoff procedures. Cutoff, for example, if it is figures for 2021, the figures you are seeing for 2021 there is no figure of 2022 which found its way to 2021. We have been able to cut off these durations here like that, nicely. But you and I know that that is a lie. Because at times like today, let me tell you normally what happens. Like today, you'll get like a particular company, which I normally train, Advanced Excel. They'll make a call and say, you know what, Dr. Aura would want you to train our people Advanced Excel. How much do you charge? If it's a company, of course, I'll charge like 700,000. You see, they haven't made even an order. It is just an inquiry. They've just made a phone call. So assuming that they'll make their order tomorrow, 1st of January, 2022, you see that 700,000 should be booked in as a sale of 2022. The phone call that I'll get today is just the start of the process. But you see what many people will do, depending on where I would want to take the 2021 financial statements. If, for example, I would want to take the 2021 financial statements here to a bank and I would want to embellish, make them look beautiful. What do? The call that I got for these 700,000 consultancy fees, I will book this 700,000 in 2021. Right? What if in this case here we are looking at financial statements being taken to KRA? If they're being taken to KRA, I'll ensure as regards what year revenue, they're incomplete. Some transactions in this case will be thrown over to 2022. Quite unfortunate. You know, as accountants, the moment you start reasoning like, why should the KRA get more, right? Okay, if it's legal, if you're doing tax avoidance, that is okay. But please, when you are doing tax evasion, at the end of the day, you are not looking at the sustainability of what your organization. You can't make a very good auditor. You can't make a very good accountant, right? So playing around. So as an auditor, I know that this is a lie. And that is why when I come to organization, like when you pass over the financial statements for auditing to me as your auditor, what I'll do, I'll ask you to give me, for example, your invoices for these dates, 25th of December to the end of the year. And the invoices from, for example, 1st of January 2022 to 5th of January 2022. Because those dates to me are very crucial. And remember that range, I can expand the range depending on the risk. Or even reduce, I can talk of just the last 2 days and the first like 2 days of the year, like that. I have to look at those things like the check starts around that duration. There are many things that I'll have to look at to be able to really verify and promise my stakeholders that for sure these guys were able to follow proper cut-off procedures. Great. Then we have allocations. Allocations, we have class like overheads, ladies and gentlemen, trust you me, very few organizations are able to allocate their overheads nicely. As an auditor, I would want to see the kind of allocation procedures that they have used, right? So they get, in this case here, people taking like something like rent and absorbing it to the various departments using bad criteria. Of course, rent, in this case here, in most cases, should be taken to apportioned to the various departments using the floor area. It is. So as an auditor, I need to know that this is a lie. They're telling me that they've allocated nicely, but I would want a policy on this. I would want a policy on classification. You always get things like they sell a motor vehicle. When they sell their motor vehicle, they'll go ahead and credit sales account. And then this is a company which doesn't sell vehicles. All right. So then from there, we have occurred. They're telling us that everything you are able to see in our financial statements indeed occurred. In most cases, that is a lie. That they have been valued properly. Valuation is a serious assertion. Then they're telling us that everything you are seeing, especially on our PPE, exists. I have to challenge this. Then we have what we call rights and what here obligations, like rights, like if you have a right to a vehicle, you must be having a logbook, right? You must be having a logbook. Then we have this P, which stands for what here? Presentations. How do we present this? Are we able to present our financial statements as per the dictates of IFRS 1? Published accounts. Published accounts. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you are okay now up to here, remember as you are doing everything in your audit work, you are using what we call the professional skepticism. Professional skepticism. You have to challenge this by doubting everything. For you to be able to gather sufficient appropriate audit evidence, you have to be very skeptical. You have to be very, very skeptical. So can I now go straight away to our past papers? Can I go straight away to our past papers? Can I go straight away to our past papers? Can I go straight away to our past papers? I want to believe you have been able to take your notes. You know, it's helicopter style. My style of teaching is helicopter. But at the end of the day, you'll end up getting a lot from what I teach. Great. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please Never ever should you study this subject without looking at the reports. Whatever I'm doing here, I must always look at the impact of whatever I'm doing on my audit reports. Now listen, I would want to share something with you here. Note this. Note this. I would want to share with you something very important to me here. Something very important to me here. Please let me know whether you are able to see my screen. Let me know whether you are able to see question number 68. Let me know whether you are able to see question number 68. Question number 68. These are ACCA questions. Your examiner at times compares a lot of notes with the ACCA. So it's important for you to have this book. Nobody I teach doesn't work with this book. When you work with this book, which has got questions and answers, straight away, you will be able to do what here? To pass your paper. Right. Now you can see like here, explain the term fraudulent financial reporting, illustrating your explanation with examples. How many marks are they giving me? I must always be guided with marks. 4 marks, it means I give them two concrete points and elaborate on them. So I would want to really stop first of all there to hear what you guys will speak about this part A. Explain the term fraudulent financial reporting. Financial reporting, for those of you who have joined us, the students that I started with gave me a whole 2 hours for this session. For this session, they told me, Mwalimu, we are going straight for 2 hours. Straight 2 hours. I hope that is still the position, isn't it? I hope that is the position. I hope that is the position. I hope that is the position. And you should not feel disadvantaged. If you will not be with us for those 2 hours, don't feel disadvantaged, because as you can see, I'm recording the session. I'm recording the session. I'll be able to share with you the recorded session. I'll be able to share with you the recorded session. Great. So where are we? Where are we? Where are we? Where are we? So we want to define the term fraudulent financial reporting. And by the way, normally what I do 10 questions from ACCA and not 5, but 10 questions from CPA. And we shall be able to get the examiner nicely. Of course, without any fraud. I don't believe in leakages. I don't believe in leakages at all. I'll never engage in them. Okay, let me see what they're saying there. Fraudulent financial reporting is the intentional. Thank you very much. Intentional has to be there. Misrepresentation, of a firm's financial statements. Francis, you are okay. Examples, forgery of financial statements. All right. All right. Intentional misstatement of financial statements to deceive financial users may come out whereby the company's assets are misused, records altered, or assets used for non-business. This is okay, but you see, Mary, here they are very, very particular. Fraudulent financial reporting. The only thing, ladies and gentlemen, that I never saw you guys putting down there, which can make me not to give you all the marks out of 4, I'll give you 3. I never saw anybody speak about material misstatement. Material misstatement in financial statements. Nobody spoke about that. At least everybody spoke about deliberate, intentional manipulation of accounting records. There is nobody who spoke about misapplication of IFRS. Misapplication of IFRS. So I hope high level, you guys have been able to take your notes high level. So can I go to part B? Can I go to part B? Can I go to part B now? It's high level because I'll also share with you the full answers to this. Can I go to part B? You guys are not talking to me. You're not talking to me. You're not talking to me. They are tired. And yet they're the ones who told me Mwalimu do 2 hours. They are tired. They never spoke of material misstatement in financial statements. Another dash, deliberate stroke intentional manipulation of underlying accounting records, misapplication of IFRS, all that. So I can continue. Thank you very much. Now, please look at part B. Part B is a bit lengthy. For lengthy questions, you always start by reading the requirement. So required, critically appraise the proposed auditor's report of Pluto PLC for the year ended 31st March 20. So I'll underline in an exam, they want me to appraise the proposed auditor's report. So they have given me an auditor's report, and then they want me to criticize it. Look at it critically. Draw strengths, stroke weaknesses, right? Not, you are not required to redraft the extracts from the auditor's report. B, you are the partner responsible for performing an engagement quality control review on the audit of Pluto PLC, a listed company. You are currently reviewing the engagement partner's proposed auditor's report on the financial statements of Pluto PLC for the year ended 31st March 2019. During the year, the company has undergone significant reorganization involving the discontinuance of 2 major business segments. Extracts of the proposed auditor's report are shown below. I'll have to underline this. They're still proposed. That's why they have brought this to you as an engagement partner. So these guys gave an adverse opinion. So basis for adverse opinion, the directors have not recognized a provision in relation to redundancy costs associated with reorganization during the year. The reason is that they do not feel that a reliable estimate of the amount can be made, and so the recognition criteria of IAS 37 have not been met. We disagree with the directors as we feel that an estimate can be made. The matter is more fully explained in a note to the financial statements. We feel that these agree with the directors as we feel that an estimate can be made. The matter is more fully explained in a note to the financial statements. We feel that this is a material misstatement as the profit for the year is overstated. In our opinion, the financial statements do not give a true and fair view of the financial position of the company as of 31st March 2019. And of its financial performance and its cash flows for the year then ended in accordance with international financial reporting standards as adopted by the European Union. Emphasis of matter, earnings per share. The directors have decided not to disclose their earnings per share for 2019 as they feel that the figure is materially distorted by significant discontinued operations in the year. Our opinion is not qualified in respect of this matter. So critically for 9 marks, appraise the we start with the first one. Do you think, ladies and gentlemen, this is a proper expression of an opinion. I can see so many flaws here. I'll be able to list about 3 of them and explain them very well. And I explain them very well. And I explain them very well. And I explain them very well. So could you kindly, ladies and gentlemen, in this case here, could you kindly, ladies and gentlemen, I'm waiting to hear from you guys. I'm waiting to hear from you guys. Are there students who are going back to work? Are there students who are going back to work? Are there students who are going back to work at 2 p.m. or you guys, all of you are free? Are there guys who are going back to work? Kate is saying, I'm lost. Are you able to hear me? Are you able to hear Mwalimu? Are you able to hear Mwalimu? Yes, so it's Catherine who has a problem with her internet, perhaps. It's Catherine who has a problem with her internet. Thank you very much. Because we have made a big investment in terms of our internet, we rarely run out of internet. For us, we know that online is the way. So I'm waiting, ladies and gentlemen. One thing that I can tell you, if I give you a high level for you to understand, if I give you a high level, the first thing here, ladies and gentlemen, if I give you a high level that I'll have to think about, you see, you can't come and tell us that they have not recognized a provision. You must tell us in this case here what amount is under misstatement. So you need in this case here to quantify, right, the financial impact. Tell us in this case here that RCM whatever misstated depreciation by Kenya shillings 10 million. That's the number one. Number two, they are pretending in this case here to mention some information, some paragraph in the financial statements. Here, there is a place they have told us this matter is more fully explained in a note. Which note? You must be very specific. You must be very specific. Ladies and gentlemen, you can't talk over IAS in full, or rather like this, it has to be in full. And again, remember that the explanation of material misstatement, can never be on the opinion paragraph. Explanation of material misstatement should be in a separate paragraph. The other thing, ladies and gentlemen, that you're supposed to know, if it is only one area that they have an issue with, just the provisions, should it lead to an adverse opinion really? This ought to have been an except for. This ought to have been an except for. If you could give me 1 minute, I explain something here. If you could give me a minute, I explain something here. Remember that generally, we have got 2 types of reports. Generally, we have got 2 types of reports. Which types of reports are these? Which types of reports are these? Is there anybody who is able to remember the auditor's reports? Which type of reports are these? Generally, we've got 2 types of reports. Which type of reports are these? Which types of reports are these? Types of reports, opinions, qualified and qualified wongo. It's modified and unmodified. Thank you very much. It is unmodified. It is unmodified. It is unmodified. And then number two, we have modified. Number two, we have modified. Unmodified is what you guys are calling unqualified. Yani bila dosari, safi. Where in this case, you're coming and telling us straight away that the financial statements of RCM portray a true and a fair view. Portray a true and a fair view. The financial statements of RCM Limited portray a true and a fair view. Those are unqualified, as in a kasoro at all. But remember, they can be having an E or M paragraph, emphasis of matter paragraph, that they are unqualified, but there is a particular note where the auditor would want to draw the attention of the readers of the financial statements too, because they know that always the readers of these financial statements depend highly on the auditor. Depend highly on the auditor. Just give me a minute. Give me a minute, I change my batteries. Give me a minute, I change my batteries. Two grounds. Which grounds are these? If the financial statements are erroneous, or if there is a limitation, of your scope. Now listen and listen very well. Listen and listen very well. Listen and listen very well. Ladies and gentlemen, when you come to audit RCM Limited, we may really have done a very good job in terms of giving you the proper ledgers you wanted, and you were able to go through those ledgers one at a time as an auditor, getting sufficient appropriate audit evidence. And then now we have here single, and then we have what we call plural. Single and material, remember, material, single. Plural becomes material and perversive, like perverda. Perversive, like that. Material and what here? Perversive. Now, ladies and gentlemen, listen and listen to me very well. These financial statements of RCM Online College. And by the way, this reminds me that to tell you that we only have online classes. We don't have any physical class anywhere. We only have what here? Online classes. So for those of you who would want to become our students in the future, right? Know that you're going to study with us, but how? Online, using Zoom, and then number two, using what here? Videos. And this time around, we are very lucky because we have at last been able to afford the offline app, where in this case here, you'll be able to watch our videos without using internet. How I wish it was a physical area where we were seated together. I would have asked you to clap for me. I mean, where you'll be able to watch our videos like now, this one for 2 hours without internet. Don't you think that is phenomenal? Don't you think that's quite a big achievement? It's innovation, right? It is innovative, yes. It is innovative, right? Great. Right, and we shall be opening on the 3rd. We shall be opening on the 3rd of January for the other courses. But of course, for AA, auditing and assurance, should we agree today, I should be able to give you auditing and assurance classes every day up to the 6th. Should we agree? Because honestly, do you expect to be getting such kind of quality content for free? Do you expect to be getting such kind of quality content for free? Do you expect to be getting Kit? Do you expect to be getting such kind of quality content for free? Danny, for free? No. No, we have to charge. We have to charge something. What I'm thinking is that we charge you our usual 500 Kenya shillings. But now this time around, we intensify this program. How do we intensify it? I should be teaching you guys early in the morning. That is 1 hour in the morning, say 5 to 6 every day. 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. And then we have CPA Dennis teaching you guys every evening. And it's question and answers, of course, with a little mention of the syllabus like that. So I'll be team teaching this thing with CPA Dennis. I'll be doing early morning classes. If we agree it is 5 to 6, no problem. If we agree it is 4 a.m. to 5 a.m. every day until you do your exams, no problem. I'll be an early morning person. CPA Dennis will be an evening or a night person. He's a young man. He's a young man. You know, as we are old men, initially I used to talk of old men with a bright past, but nowadays somebody told me, no, we are old men with a bright future. That's in order, because whether you like it or not, this time around, ladies and gentlemen, we must really strive to understand exam technique. Because I don't know, somebody was saying, I'm not the one, because me, I expect this paper to be a normal paper, but somebody was saying that this paper could be very abnormal. Techno, we don't combine ourselves. We do, if it's AA, it's AA. We don't combine students. Like especially the one where you guys will be doing exams on 6, we can't combine. It is AA alone, AAA alone. We don't combine. Thank you for that question. Now back here. So we have here our financial statements. Somebody has been able to dig through them very nicely and realize that our sales are okay. Cost of sales is okay. Perhaps it's only one item like distribution, which is wrong. So then what this auditor will do, he'll come and single out that item alone. And the issue what we call an except for qualification. So except for qualification, when you're singling this out, you will come, ladies and gentlemen, Purity is giving us a very good way forward. She's telling us, Mwalimu, a problem now with the kind of, I would have really wished, with the kind of work that I'm doing, I can't get 1 hour during lunchtime, weekday. I can't get lunch hour, not unless we are talking of today, tomorrow, and Sunday. Those ones I can do 1 o'clock. But on Monday, I don't want to cheat you. From Monday, I'm in a very busy role. During the day, forget me, right? And again, even if I was to hide myself and perhaps go to a hotel to teach you from a hotel, that I can do. But will I be able to get access to a whiteboard? No. And you see, teaching you without a whiteboard, I'll be cheating you. That's why I would prefer the times when I'm available. Which is very early in the morning or very late at night. But early in the morning is better for me, for this paper. And remember, my role in this is to do 10 ACCA questions. The moment I do 10 ACCA questions, then I will be sorted out. The moment I do 10 ACCA questions, I will be sorted out. Okay, great. Early morning is fine. Great. So we have except for qualification. So what I'll come and say is that RCM Online College, the financial statements of RCM Online College portray a true and a fair view, except for the fact that their distribution costs were overstated by 10 million Kenya shillings. So that is opinion. And then I'll be able to have, ladies and gentlemen, another paragraph of basis for what here the opinion, separate paragraph. I can't start in this case here doing a lot of explanations on the opinion paragraph. We don't do that. But key thing there is that when it is one item alone, I'll only single that item alone. Talk of except for qualification. And you can see vividly that I've been able to do what here I have been able, ladies and gentlemen. I've been able, ladies and gentlemen, to state the amount in question. I've been able to quantify the impact in the financial statements. But now, what if, for example, you come to auditors and then you realize that our sales are wrong, our cost of sales is wrong, distribution is wrong? Will you say that the financial statements of RCM Online College portray a true and a fair view, except their sales, except their cost of sales, except their, you'll be called auditor except for? The moment those except for become too many, they are what? Perversive. And if they are perversive, then you should be able to disqualify everything and give what we call an adverse opinion. So what you're saying here is that the financial statements of RCM Online College do not portray a true and a fair view. In the example that we looked of the ACCA, we were looking at of ACCA. Really, do you think in this case here that auditor was in their right mind to give an adverse opinion on somebody? Should they have given an adverse opinion? 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 I'm not seeing your comments. I'm not seeing your charts. No, simply because, ladies and gentlemen, this particular area, we only had one item that had an issue, which is provisions. So they should have given what we call an except for what year qualification. They should have given what we call an except for qualification. So that is it. So are we together, first of all, up to there? Are we to, let me go back to the book for us to be 100% together, because you have to understand really this thing. These are the kind of questions we expect this semester. Basis for adverse opinion. It should have been named opinion paragraph, and then basis down there. The directors have not recognized a provision in relation to redundancy costs associated with the organization during the year. The reason is that, ladies and gentlemen, it's only one thing. With one thing, you can't give an adverse opinion. That will be suicidal, even to the organization, it will die. If it's on only one area, then straight away you need to single out that area that nicely and talk of what here and talk of an except for. An except for. So adverse was really too much to have given of an opinion. That is bad. Now come to limitations. Gentlemen, remember, when you give me a job as your auditor, you give me access to 360 degrees to your content, to your information, to your organization. I can go all around as much as I wish. If you come and tell me that, you know what, that is my bedroom, no access, you are limiting my area of operation. If you come and tell me, you know what, these are board minutes, you cannot have access to them, there is nothing like that. An auditor has got access, right to access whichever information they want. So when I come to audit RCM Online College, and then I realize that these guys were so good to me, they were able to give me information that I really needed, except for the fact that during Sep-Dec, ladies and gentlemen, I was not able to attend. Perhaps they even never invited me. So I'll come and look at stock. Of course, I know that stock is something that is pervasive in nature. You know, stock will affect so many things in the financial statements, right? But stocks of an online college cannot be pervasive. Because online college, what kind of stocks do we have? They may not even be material in the first place. And if they're not material, they should not even affect my what here, my opinion. But assuming, ladies and gentlemen, that they were material, then what I need to do is to come and pick out that issue that it's only one area that I was not able to apply my procedures. I'll come and say that the financial statements of RCM Online College portray a true and fair view, except for the fact that I was not able to attend Sep-Dec. So again here, if it's a single item, it's an except for. If it's a single item, it's an except for qualification. It's an except for qualification. If it's a single item, it's an except for qualification. But what if, for example, I go like what I was reading some time back here at Ngilu's backyard in Kitui? Auditors went there. They were able to do some little bit of auditing, but before they penetrated, the entire accounts office got burnt down. I'm so sure it was accidental. That lady does not seem really that she can hurt a fly. I'm so sure it was accidental. But now you see that is basically limiting, right, the operations of an auditor 100%. So the auditor will not be able to gather sufficient, appropriate audit evidence. So in that case, you should be able to give what kind of an opinion? You should be able to give what kind of an opinion? You should be able to give what kind of an opinion? Somebody talk to me, and I can see the numbers are, I can see somebody called Muthui saying, I love your classes. Thank you very much. That is very encouraging. Disclaimer of opinion. Disclaimer of opinion. Disclaimer of opinion. Disclaimer of opinion. I can see people are dropping out freely, and before they drop out, it will be very important for me to give them our paybill number. Paybill number. Our paybill number for RCM Online College. Paybill number for RCM Online College. So have you been able to write this down? Have you been able to write this down really? Have you been able to write this down? Have you been able to write this down? Remember, it's a helicopter. You're only copying the most important thing. After all, you have access to videos. And if you have got access to videos, you can go later on and replay them, isn't it? That is now the biggest difference between online classes and the physical classes. Physical classes, they perish. Online classes, they can never perish. You'll stay with them forever. Forever. We'll give you access forever. Like that. Ladies and gentlemen, listen and listen to me very well. Or rather, before I continue this, our paybill number is 4029569. Account is your name. Account is your name. And then, of course, we expect you to pay how much for all those? There are many lessons. It is Kenya shilling. We will not add. It's Kenya shilling, it's 500. But I want to strongly believe that with this Kenya shilling, it's 500, you guys will be able to call your friends, and we should be able to get more than 100 students. You know, the good thing is that here you are being taught by people who have practiced auditing, not just auditing, at the big level. People who have worked with multinational companies, right? We know really what you need for you to be able to become a very good auditor at the end of the day, right? Morning hours will be 1 hour alone. Evening will be 1.5. Evening hours will be 1.5 hours. Morning will be always 1 hour. 1 hour. 1 hour. So will you guys market this program for me? It's an important program, especially for those who have not been studying at all. Will you market this program for me? 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 Starting when? Of course, Stella, we have started. We have started from today. Today, I'll see whether CPA invited my sister. Thank you very much, Mudhui. Very good. Thank you very much, Mudhui. Mudhui never came alone, came with a sister. So we expect now the sister to bring someone else. I need more than 100. Because, you know, I'm the one who teaches advanced financial management and a paper called Leadership and Management in section 5. At the advanced level, I teach 2 papers. And if you look at, for example, my advanced financial management class, I can share with you on my WhatsApp here. I had 156 students Zoom. Actually, I normally command the biggest numbers in this market. And fortunately, now students have started knowing straight away that the way is online. Those hours you're putting into the road, right? Those are the hours you should be taking to listen like to my auditing classes. You only put on your headphones and listen to My classes severally, right? Right? Brand says, make a poster, we'll be able to market them. Brand, I'll be able to make a poster today. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now, so remember, the moment you make the payment, then we shall be able to add you to our paid group. And once we add you to our paid group, we start by sharing that ACCA book with you for free now. So once you pay, straight away, you'll be able to. I'm supposed to do the advanced levels. Is this relevant to me? Of course, for your exams, yes, if you'll be doing the AAA. Yes, but most importantly, it is relevant to you because of what here? Because of the practice out there. Because of practice out there, you really need these skills. But TechnoSpark, I like having you around because now I know you have known that there is a person called J. Aura, Dr. Joshua Aura, that you're going to be referring students. Tell all students in Kenya that they need to join what here? Online classes. Physical classes, akuna. Now waste time, bure, because you can't get access to videos. Here I'm giving you videos totally, which you'll be having control over. You play them when you need them like that. You can't get this kind of an offer anywhere. And this month's number is 0721 621 83. You only call me when you have got something very serious. Otherwise, the school's number is 0719 525,000. This is the school's number, 0719 525,000. Tekno, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now, how much do you charge for AFM and leadership? Each subject, I don't know, maybe let me answer this as the last one, because that was not the intention of this session. This session is for the AA students who will be sitting for exams on the 6th. But as I kill those kind of good questions, they are good to me, but for the students who will be doing these exams, they're not very nice. So we normally charge 3,500 per subject. Online. 3,500 per subject. Yeah. So that is it. Now, then I would need a break of about 5 minutes, but during the... So, ladies and gentlemen, I would want us to really look at something very small here. It's all in relation to audit, but something that you need as an auditor will be the skills of how to analyze financial statements, how to analyze whatever figures are given to you. And really, Excel stands out. And this is why I normally conduct Excel. And there is one starting on the 3rd of Monday, a course which I would want you guys to attend. And I would want basically to show you what I'm talking about. Now, this is a small example which I would like to use, here, right? Quite interesting example, a very interesting example that I would want to make use of, all right? Now, what I've been able to do here is to take number of students at our college, right? The hypothetical assumed figures and fees per student. So if I would want to get, for example, the total there, what basically I will do, I'll come here and do what here and multiply, right? Like students times fees per student. So I'll be able to do that, and then I'll be able to get this 12 million as the total. Now remember, I could very comfortably come and use what we call some product function. So some product function, how will I be able to use this? It's very easy. What I need to do is to come and basically say there equals. So that is to operationalize the cell. And then I press there some product. So some product, I'm seeing some product coming up there. I'll be able to tab. Once I tab, they want arrangement 1, array 1. So array 1, I'll come and pick this. I say times. Again, I'll come and pick this. And then I say close bracket. So I've been able to take the 2 arrays, multiplied them, and then automatically this thing should be able to add for me. You can see the 12 million has come up here. The 12 million is here. This is the 12 million. This is the 12 million. So I hope you have been able to see what I did. And ladies and gentlemen, the most important thing will be for us to come and appreciate assuming that somebody was to give you this kind of data, and then he needs you to come and, for example, get the ACCA number of students that we have, ACCA number of students. This is quite easy. You can add directly, but what if there were like 100 rows? So what you need to do is to come and say equals. When you say equals, there say some product. So some product, I can see it is there, I'll tab. Once I tab like that, array one, because I would want to specify with about ACCA, I'll take this as the first array, right? And then I say equals. This time around, I would want to peg it on ACCA like this. So if I do it that way, I need to come under close bracket there, and then I'll need to come and do what here? Open brackets here, like that. And then now I'll come and continue with my journey. It's some products, so times the quantity, because I only want quantity alone, like that. And then I close bracket, I close bracket, like that. And then I say enter. So when I say enter, I'm able to see straight away this thing telling me that we have got how many ACCA students? 600. You can count. ACCA in 2019 were 200. In 2020, they were 400. This is why, ladies and gentlemen, we need Excel. What if I wanted to know revenue? Revenue is price times quantity. So then what I need to do is to come and say equals. So equals, I have the sum product there. I have the sum product there. So the sum product, we have tab there. So this array one, because I want to specify, I'll come there, right? And then I say equals my ACCA course that I want, right? And then I close the bracket like that. I'll come and open the bracket here. I open the bracket there, open bracket like that. And then I'll come and continue with my journey. I'll come and continue with my journey by saying times. I'll continue with my journey by saying times I18. This is supposed to be H. Let me see. I have to start afresh here. This formula, I have to start afresh. So I have to start afresh there. So equals sum product. Okay, tab. So we will come and pick array one. It is the courses here. All right. So once I pick like that, I'll come and say equals, because I want to specify it's ACCA that I need. And then I'll be able to close bracket there. And then I will be able to open bracket. Very important for you to do that. You open bracket there. Once you do that, ladies and gentlemen, so now you'll need to come here and say times. Now you pick the first array. Quantity times the fees per student. You close. So if you do that, then you'll be able to see here that ACCA gave us 7.4 million. Now I've been able to automate my function. So what I need to do is to come and change this to whatever I want. If they want CPA, I'll be able to say CPA there. And then I say enter, and it will be able to change automatically like that. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're a CPA student who does not understand this, you're going to get it rough out there. So at RCM Online College, we normally teach this thing live. We normally teach this thing live through Zoom. And we only charge 2,000 bob. 2,000 bob. And this is our number. This is our number, ladies and gentlemen. Just call us. We'll be able to give you the exact sessions that we have. Like I have one last session coming on Monday the 3rd, right? For this term, the last one. So please, you need to join us, and we only charge 2,000. On top of this, you also have the financial modeling course. Financial modeling course costs 7,500. 7,500, we have a course of financial modeling, which will be starting on February. You need to call us, ladies and gentlemen, straight away, and we'll be able to structure a deal which will make you more fruitful out there as an accountant.